Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette with a palette that is currently on the chopping block. It is the Natasha Denona alloy palette that we got in Ipsy in 2023. Essentially, I have gone through my collection and pulled forward a handful of palettes that I barely used in 2023, and I either want to get reacquainted with them and decide I want to keep them, or make the determination of maybe these just are not for me anymore. So that's what I'm going to be doing. 3 looks with this. The first 2 looks are going to be voiced over and sped up. The third look is going to be in real time, chatted through, just so you kind of know the layout of this video. Also, my first 2 looks are going to be done in a different location. I apologize, the lighting and everything is a little bit different, but I'm kind of in a weird life transition right now, so I'm just filming when I can to get these up so there's not a huge lag in videos, which means there may be some scenery changes, but yeah, it'll eventually be sorted. But yeah, if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Megan. Be sure to subscribe below if you enjoyed this video, and of course like it if you also enjoy. I have also created a Natasha Denona playlist that I will link below so you can see all of the Get Ready With Me's I have done featuring Natasha Denona palettes. I will also link my recent ranking of Natasha palettes as well as my 3 looks 1 palette playlist. So those will all be down below if there's any that you want to check out. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the first look. Okay, so I just wanted to start out with a more close-up shot of the palette so you can see the shadows in their natural lighting. I think it does a good job of portraying them. And then I also wanted to include some swatches. Obviously, it's from the warm side to the cool side. My bad, I just got some tattoos, so it's not very aesthetically pleasing, but here we are. I thought the swatches would be beneficial. Look number 1, we are going in with that more cream / neutral shade. It does still pull like pretty warm on me, but that's what I'm going to be using as like my setting / transition shade for all of the looks. As you can see, the tone is nice in general and pairing with my skin tone. Then I'm going to go into that deep red shade there. This is like one of my favorite shades in the palette. There are only 5, but still, I love the tone of this and the way it translates on my skin tone. As you can see, it blends out beautifully. No issues there per usual. And bam, a matte look. Who is she? I did put some highlighter in the corner, but I digress. Beautiful. Love that look. Look number 2. We're going to do something with the cooler tone side of the palette. Again, using that shade there in the middle just to set everything down. As you can see, I am on a little bit of a different setup still, so sorry about that. In the middle of a transition. Hopefully it's not too distracting. All right, next we're going to dip into the deep cool toned shade. I also really love this shade. This was the initial look that I created with the palette when I first got it, and I was obsessed. That tone is just so nice. I actually think I might have something similar to it in the Star palette. I need to do a little swatch comparison, but as you see, blending out really nicely, no issues. And then I'm going to dip into my NYX glitter primer. I use that for all of my shimmers, so I want to stay consistent. And then I'm going to tap into that shimmer that, I don't know, it appeared to be more cool toned to me the last time I wore it and swatched it, but I don't know if like now that I've used it so many times, we're getting more into the gold reflex of the product, because I don't know, it's just so much more gold than when I initially used it, or at least that I remember it being, because I did not recall it being like having that much gold in it. I still think that the look is absolutely stunning. It's just, I don't know, not what I had initially anticipated. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're gonna do this last look together so that I can kind of wrap up my thoughts with like the palette and what I think I'm gonna do as far as keeping or decluttering it. I'm just setting my eyes right now. To start, I'm gonna just go in with this middle shade here. It's like kind of the most quote unquote setting shade, if you will. It is like a little deep / yellowy for me to typically use as a setting shade, but if I was traveling with this, that is what I would use, because it incorporates like pretty well with both of the color stories, the cool and the warm. So yeah. Also, sorry if the lighting is weird. We got a bunch of snow, so it's like super bright outside, which I just think is like making the screen look darker. I like tried to adjust the lighting and stuff, and I'm just like not able to get it any brighter, and I'm not gonna be here later to like film this, so it needs done now. So apologize for the lighting there. As you can see, blended out easy enough. The mattes are nice, consistent with what I've come to expect from Natasha Denona. I know sometimes her formulas aren't consistent, which is really frustrating. But these mattes in here are good. I just realized I want to put on some lip oil. This one's so close to gone. By the time this video goes up, it'll actually probably be empty. I'm just using the Milani Fruit Fetish. Like, those are so good. The best lip oils in my humble opinion. Now I'm gonna go in with this shade here, and I'm just gonna use that on the outer corner and the crease just to deepen this up a little bit and give me some dimension. See what I mean though? These just like blend out really nicely, pack nicely, have good pigment, don't get patchy. Like the formula in here is nice. This one I actually got in Ipsy a while ago, I think. A while ago. The reason it's like on the chopping block, which I haven't filmed my intro yet, so I'll try not to mention it there too, but essentially like I just haven't reached for it since I like got it. And I'm trying to be better about only keeping items that I actively use. So that's why I kind of decided to start doing the chopping block thing, so that I could either rediscover old favorites or decide that it was like time for them to move on in my collection. Also, sorry if it's extra loud here. We have an extra dog right now, so yeah. I'm trying to not let it overstimulate me because I need to film if I want to remain like consistent with at least a video a week. So yeah, I'm dealing with that right now. The shade is really pretty. I do think I have like a really similar one in the Biba palette though, because like this is, I really like this matte shade in here. And it's potentially like, I don't know, something I would consider holding on to the palette for, but I'm pretty sure I can dupe it. All right, now I'm just gonna go on with the NYX glitter glue. You've seen this in the other two looks. I always just use this with shimmers. I feel like it locks them in better and gives them a lot better staying power, so I always use that. And then I'm gonna just dip into the gold shade, which I haven't used yet on camera with you guys. And like golds like this, I don't know, like they're not really colors that I reach for often, but it does like pair nicely with this maroon shade. I honestly probably would have just stuck with an all matte look if I had already used this shade, but I haven't, so I wanted to showcase it, because otherwise, yeah, I think the matte would have looked really pretty. And then I'm gonna just dip back into the reddish shade here and just kind of go back over that. So yeah, that's looking nice. I'm gonna go off, finish this eye, finish my face, and then I'm gonna come back just for like some final thoughts. All right, so this is the finished look. I'll pop a photo up over there like I have been. I did just end up using a little bit of this deeper shade here, and that's what I popped on the lower lash line. Overall, I think that this is like a nice palette. It works really well. The mattes blend out easily. They're very pigmented. The shimmers are, I would say like not her most sparkly formula, but there is some sparkle in there. They're soft, they go on easily, no issues, not a lot of fallout or anything like that throughout the day. There's nothing like wrong with this formulation wise, and I just want to be clear about that. Through the course of this video, I really was kind of unsure about what I wanted to do just because I previously had really liked the combination of these 3 shades here, and that was like what had initially brought me in, and I had really liked the palette for that reason. Wow, my bun is so lopsided right now. I can't even stand it. Oh, whatever, sorry. Anyways, but that's like what had initially like really like drawn me into the palette and that I really enjoyed. However, I just want to be like more mindful of the products that I'm not like reaching for and retesting them out and seeing where I stand with them. And I felt like this time around when I was creating looks, this shade right here that I previously really liked has a lot more gold shifting in it than it initially did. And I really didn't notice all of that gold until when I did a look with it this past time, and then I was like, whoa, that's like very goldy. And my personal preference, I'm not super huge into golds. And if I'm gonna use a gold, I like to reach into like my bronze palette and do something like this shade right here, which is Silk. Like that's the kind of gold that I like to do. And I like the shimmers in the bronze palette more. See how it does kind of look a little bit cooler with this. But anyways, I also feel like that red shade right there is similar to the tone that we get in the bronze palette, as well as one that we have in the Biba palette, which I have a lot of Natasha Denona palettes. If you want to see what I have, I recently did a ranking video with all of the ones that I do currently own, and I'll link that below if you want to check it out. But essentially, I like, even though I was testing this out to see if I would still want to keep it, I wasn't like wanting to reach for it. You know what I mean? Like I kind of felt like I had to be mindful to reach for it, make myself reach for it. Like I was not excited to be pulling it back out. And I think it's just because like if I'm reaching for tones like this, I'm going into bronze or to Biba or to the Glam palette. Like those are the ones that I'm gonna gravitate toward before I gravitate to this. Which for that reason, I think that I'm gonna pass this palette along because I would prefer that it gets to someone else before it goes bad. Just because I want someone else to get some good use out of it instead of just sitting around in my collection and only getting used 1 to 2 times a year. Like those are the palettes that I'm trying to rotate out, the ones that I'm just not reaching for. So yeah, that being said, great palette. I just don't use it. So yeah, this is one that I will be passing along. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I know it was kind of chaotic with all the scenery changes and everything. Hopefully there won't be as much of that, but my life's kind of in a transition right now and I'm just trying to do the best that I can. I will be continuing to do these series, so keep an eye out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 palettes in total, and this was the first one that I filmed this on. I think the next one up will be the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze. So keep an eye out for those. I'm going to continue to do it until I work through that chopping block palette. And yeah, I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!